Welcome, one and all, to the Messengers of Hope Mission podcast. I'm your host, Bob Gardner, and after an over-year hiatus, I've decided to bring the podcast back. I've had a lot of questions about when we're going to start doing this again, and, well, it is time to do so. Before we get into the podcast, today I would like to thank our sponsor. And our sponsor today is, well, no one. We don't have one yet, but we want to make sure that we are having sponsors for Messengers of Hope Mission. This would be a tax-deductible sponsorship to sponsor the podcast that we'll be coming out with bi-weekly, and this is evergreen content. So anytime someone listens to this podcast, you or your business, your club, your church, whatever, could be advertised on here and considered a donation. So if you're interested in having your business, club, or church be a sponsor of the Messengers of Hope Mission podcast, you can reach out to us via our Facebook page, Messengers of Hope Mission. Okay, let's get to the meat of the subject today. So over the last year, Messengers of Hope Mission has been using a school bus that has been converted to a mobile food pantry by a local Boy Scout working on his Eagle Scout project, a Mr. Jackson Davis. Jackson has done an amazing job with this, and we have been using the bus for the last year. The bus has been very helpful as we're able to carry more food out to a single location. It is more visible for people to find and to be able to get the food. We don't have to bring tents with us anymore as the bus has an awning. And as I said, we can fit everything on the bus that we need, including a few volunteers can ride along. This makes the bus just a great and easy way to do our mobile food pantries. That being said, the bus does cost a lot of money. There's repairs that have to be done. Fuel is expensive. It takes diesel because it is a school bus. It does not get a great amount of mileage per gallon. So I'm sure you can imagine that the cost of this is quite astronomical at times. Because of that, it makes it difficult to fundraise for the bus and for what we already have in Messengers of Hope. But the bus is a great visualization, so we want to continue to be able to use that. So if you are interested in volunteering with Messengers of Hope, again, reach out to us on our Facebook page, Messengers of Hope Mission, and you can message us through the direct messaging, and we can work out the details in order for you or your group or your club or your church or your business to come volunteer, help passing out food to those in need here in Pasco County. It makes it great and visual to have that bus, as I said, and the great thing about that is the visualization of the bus helps people to locate it, helps them to know that, yes, we are a mobile food pantry. It is Messengers of Hope Mission that is there giving out the food, and it shows consistency. When we are out in the neighborhoods with the bus, it really, really helps people to be able to find us. The other great thing about the school bus that we have, a big blue bus, we called it, we've kind of dubbed it the Eagle because of the Eagle Scout project, is we can do local food drives with the bus. We do that a couple times a year already at a local banquet hall here in Odessa, but we're also looking for other places like neighborhoods that allow us to come in and park the bus and do a food drive. Have the neighborhood get involved and advertise it on Facebook or the social media pages, whatever the case may be. Clubs and churches can also have us come and we can share what we do in feeding those in need. And the bus, again, is a great visualization for people in the church to come and see the bus, see it firsthand, and get more active in it. So if you are interested in finding out more about the bus, again, reach out to us on Facebook. And we have videos on Facebook and TikTok that you can see at any point in time. Along with the bus, we also have our location right here in Odessa, Florida. It is a warehouse that we use to store the food at, and we can have work days there. We have plenty of times during the summer where we set up work days for teenagers to be able to come in. Anyone under the age of 16 needs to have adult supervision with them, but anyone else can come and do community service hours for school or whatever the case may be. You can also just volunteer because you want to. It's a great place to come and get involved and get active and see what we do firsthand. There's a lot of work to be done at our building, such as sorting food, sorting drinks, cleaning, packing up food to be able to give out, preparing the bus, all sorts of things that we do at the building that we need help with. We have freezers that we have to constantly move food from, move it so that the oldest stuff goes out first and that we can defrost the freezers. That all takes time, and frankly, it is not something I can do alone. So I need volunteers that can come and do this stuff. Again, this would be a great way for churches or clubs to get involved and to help out Messengers of Hope. If you're interested, again, reach out to us on our Facebook page. So the heart of the podcast today is going to be a little story that I'm going to share. Now, the facts of the story are as honest and true as I can tell them, but I have changed the names and genders, maybe, of the individuals involved because I want to keep their privacy private. I want them to feel safe, just in case they ever hear this podcast or someone ever comes and gets involved. We have, over the last several months, had a family coming on Friday mornings, meeting at our building where we give out food, and they come there, and they are refugees from the Ukraine. They came here after the war started. They had to get away. They had no place else to go. They came to the United States, and they've gotten a fresh start. Now, they have been learning English over that time. It's been very difficult for them, but they have been learning English, and of course, we've been using Google Translate to try to communicate the best that we can with them. So they've been coming just about weekly, maybe sometimes every other week, to get food, and they only take the food that they need. That's one of the neat things about doing this ministry is how often we see people say, I won't eat that, or I don't need that much food. Let me give some of it back. People usually only take what they need, and this family is no exception. And they've been coming for several months, as I've said. And frankly, I've been getting to know them. They're a very nice couple, and they've got a few children, and we have been trying to meet their dietary needs as best they can. One of their children is gluten-free, so we try to make sure that we have that kind of option for them. Now, here's where the story gets interesting. They have someone in their neighborhood, it's a low-income area because that's all they can afford at this time, that is a refugee from Russia. Now, if you follow politics at all, if you follow the news at all, I'm sure you know what is going on over in the Russia and Ukraine. I'm not going to get into that because I don't want to talk politics, but you know the situation there is not great. Well, as I said, one of their neighbors is from Russia, and this neighbor was talking to them, and I guess they can speak the same language or have a common tongue involved so that they can at least communicate with one another. So they shared with this Russian person about Messengers of Hope mission, and this Russian has been coming every week and getting food, or most every week to get food. And again, we're using Google Translate to speak with them, but they have been so grateful not only to Messengers of Hope, but to this Ukrainian family who, by all rights, should probably be pretty angry at a Russian person, but they have shown love, and it's just amazing. It is just a beautiful thing to witness this, and I'm so thankful that Messengers of Hope and myself included have been able to be a part of this and see this transition that has happened, and just the way that they're helping. They got a fresh start. Both of them got a fresh start. They didn't like what was happening, and now they're actually able to come together and work together over something as simple as some food, over need, and frankly, over love. So I wanted to share that with you this morning, and thank you all for supporting Messengers of Hope with donating food and money so that we can do this. I want to take a moment and thank you for listening to the podcast today. This is going to be a bi-weekly podcast, so every other week, look forward to this, and I will post it on our social media pages. But you can also find us on Spotify and follow us on there, and you'll get notified when the podcast comes out. Now, this is probably a little bit more disjointed podcast as I'm just getting back into this. I'll be learning as I go along how to make this better, how to make it sound better, how to make it more cohesive. And of course, hopefully over time, we'll be able to get some guests on to have someone that I can talk to, and we can share stories and share concerns, share different ideas that maybe some of y'all are interested in. And hopefully we can get people more actively involved in helping others. That is the goal here, not just Messengers of Hope, but helping those in need. So look forward to these podcasts weekly, and I promise you I will get better as time goes on. So again, thank you for listening. And if you have ideas for the podcast, please reach out to us on our Facebook page, Messengers of Hope Mission. I'm always up to ideas, and I want to make this podcast something special. And if you are interested in sponsoring, please reach out to us. As I said earlier in this podcast, it is evergreen. So as long as people are listening to this, you will get the advertising. And I think what we're going to do is start it out at $100 an episode, and that is tax deductible. So reach out to us and check it out. And I think also what I'm going to do, I just came up with this idea as well, is at the end of each episode, anyone that sends in $25 and puts on the memo line of the check and or through our Facebook page, paying through an online portal or PayPal, and puts in the memo line podcast, we'll read out their name and just thank them for being a sponsor as well. Thanks for listening, guys. Catch you next time.